Good evening, everyone, and very well welcome from the Ski Club of Great Britain. This is our next online talk. Thank you very much for signing up and joining us this evening. Um, Whether you're a long-time member or new to the Ski Club, check out our online talks this year on our website, skiclub.co.uk, and check out all the benefits that you can have as a Ski Club member. Just before we go into the talk, I just want to say that Jazz and I will have a bit of a talk to begin with, and then we'll go over questions that have been submitted before, and you can also submit some questions into the chat too. So now that the housekeeping is done, let's get into the chat. Thank you, Jazz, for joining us. Great to have you here.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me. I think I know quite a lot of you actually. So this is going to be quite easy, I feel like. I was nervous, but actually I think I recognise nearly everyone. So
It's great when you know half the people in the room, which is great. Um, First of all, I think when we planned everything, you were in pre-season prep and still are. How's that been going? I know that's the really hard bit.
yeah, someone's like the behind the scenes stuff really. Just mainly gym work and lots of like intervals and steady state and just yeah, the kind of boring bit that people were not so interested in really. But it's got to be
Life
done.
of an athlete, hey.
Mm.
Last season was an incredible season for you. World Cup overall champion. Um,
Mm.
how does it feel to be at the pinnacle of the sport and talk us through sort of last season, how it went?
Um, Seems like ages ago now, which is weird. I know it wasn't that long ago, but it like definitely doing that for the second year running felt like a bit more manageable. Felt like I could handle the pressure of it a little bit more, whereas the first year was a bit of a shock to the system. But yeah, second year was a bit more okay. I kind of know how to approach this day to day, but it still had its challenges as it always does. So yeah, it was tough, but it was also great. And to have, I got three of the four globes, which was even kind of beyond what I was dreaming of. But yeah, it was wicked, and it finished up just in the best way, really.
I'm going to rewind a little bit. So, for a lot of people know the recent successes probably, but what was your first time? What was it like for your first time telemarking? And how did you get into the sport?
It's even further ago. I was alpine racing as a teenager, so I started on the dry slopes, and then I was lucky enough to go away on snow with an alpine academy, the British Ski Academy. Some of you know it. And when I was at this academy, we'd try different types of skiing. So we'd do ski jumping and cross country skiing, just as fun activities for everyone to try. And one of these days, we happened to do telemark, and it was this French guy taking everybody just for this taster session. And I thought, oh, this is kind of annoying that I can't get my head around this sport. And I thought, oh, maybe I could be good at it. And I just had a sort of a feeling about it. And I went back for a second session. Same French guy, didn't know his name. He was quite aloof, this Frenchman. And he'd say, well, in telemark, we have a jump and we have a cross country skate. And I thought, okay, so it's not just about being a good skier, you kind of have to be good at everything. And so I went and got some equipment on eBay and practiced just at Hemel Hempstead on the indoor slope, and went back a year later and went to the ESF in Les Houches and said, oh, I'd like a telemark lesson. And they said, okay, who with? And I was like, yeah, I don't know his name. Smokes a lot. He's French. And I was like, okay, doesn't really narrow it down. But okay, yeah, he's a telemarketer. Okay, could be three people. I was like, yeah, he took her, and explained. And anyway, I worked out that this guy's name was Seb. and tried to book a lesson with him, but he was fully booked. And I don't know if you've ever been to Les Houches skiing in April, but there's no one there, and it's just slush everywhere, and there's no, like, basically no one on the mountain. And he was fully booked. So I thought, it can't be right. Okay, whatever. I'll try again tomorrow. Fully booked. So I went back third day, and he gave me 4 o'clock lesson. So I was like, okay, this guy's busy. Turns out he wasn't busy at all. He just heard that there was an English girl in a cat suit wanting a telemark lesson and was like, it's April. I really don't want to deal with this right now. But I pushed and I got this lesson, and he made me ski in like all the worst snow you can imagine. And I just said to him, yeah, like I wanna do this. I'd like to be one of the best in the world. Please, can you help me? He was like, okay, here's a training program, and you go off and you do this training program, and I'll see you in December. I was like, okay, see you in December. And so that's basically how it started. And that guy is now the British team coach. And we got Andrew Morgan on the call, who is Leggett and Moblier, one of the team sponsors, who knows what Seb's like. Actually, a few of you know what Seb's like. And yeah, it's been quite the partnership, really.
Wow, what a story! Like the history is sort of from that moment. He could have missed you again, and you've become an athlete. That's incredible. Um,
It was
can
it
you
was a bit
remember when?
strange.
Sorry, say that again.
No, I was just gonna say it was strange how it all happened.
Can you remember when it sort of clicked and you thought this could be something that I could do for the foreseeable future and compete at the highest level?
I c- I don't know. I can remember thinking, oh yeah, like I'm getting this. Like maybe I could be good at this. But now I watch videos from time and I think, what was I thinking? Like, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if there was one pinpoint moment, but it really made a difference to me having just that one person that really backed me and really believed in me. And actually, it just made me feel like I could go for it wholeheartedly. And then from that, it sort of, excuse the pun, but it like snowballs and you collect more and more people on the way. And yeah, it's, you know, lots of people have helped me. Like Nick Anderson's on the call, like Ian Johnson, like so many people that have had impact along the way that have, yeah, made a difference. So yeah, I think Seb just believing in me initially and then all the people along the way to honestly make such a difference.
That's incredible. I think like British skiing in general has a community, but Telemark must have a really strong community. How much does that, I guess you've alluded to it a little bit, but just having a core group of people backing you all the way must really help, right?
I think people that telemark seem to really love it. They kind of die by the sword type skiers. There's a few telemarkers who could maybe shake their head or nod right now, but there's just like an extra ounce of passion behind it, it seems. So there's maybe not as many of us, but well, there's not as many of us, but we make up for it in passion, I think.
Cool. And we were talking a little bit before about the disciplines that you compete in. Do you have a favorite? And can you explain a little bit, like what's the difference between each one and the challenges that each one has?
Yeah, I think most people on the call probably know already, but telemark race, you've got four elements. You've got the skiing part, you've got the jump, you've got a giant bank turn, and then you've got a cross-country skate. So I think of it a bit like a triathlon on skis. And then within the disciplines, you have the classic, which is one super long run. Then you have the sprint, which is two sort of medium length runs, like a minute and a half. So it's a combined time trial of the two runs. And then you have the parallel, which is a head-to-head knockout. So actually, on any one race day, you tend to ski about the same amount of time. But the classic, you're in for lunch at 12 and you're done, sort of done for the day. I mean, you've still got ski prep, but I think probably my favorite discipline is the sprint. I've had the most success and the most consistency in that discipline. Um, but getting the globe in the classic this year was really special because that's sort of like the mother discipline. Like that is the really tough one. We don't have as many of those events, so you need to be really on it each time. Whereas we have a lot of sprint events, so it's kind of slightly less pressure. You've got a bit more leeway. If you make a mistake, you can make it back up. Um, but yeah, and then the head to head's really fun as well. And if you win the head to head, you know you've won it the second you cross the finish line. And I don't know, there's something about that. So I didn't really answer the question, did it? I'll say sprint is my
Yeah.
favourite.
I guess it changes each season as well, whatever you're
Yeah.
focusing on and things like that. I guess head to head as well, just from like a spectator, it's so great to watch because you got that immediate thing of like who's won and who hasn't. So it's a pretty cool
Yeah.
event to be a part of. Um,
Very stressful. Stressful when you're racing it, but it's good fun. Actually, when you do well, it's not that stressful. But I can say it's not too bad. But you
um,
can't have this inner calm. It's weird.
in the zone, the racing zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, what does a typical year look like for you as an athlete? Because obviously skiing is seasonal and the summer months, it must be hard to get sort of training time and things like that. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we're not an Olympic sport, so we don't have quite the scope to be on the glaciers and skiing 10, 9, 8, 9, 10 months a year. So we keep the costs down, we make it economical. So make sure we get fit and strong and springy and powerful, this sort of stuff in summer. Make sure we skate a lot. Um, and then so that would be, say I start training in June in the gym. And so June, July, August, September are like heavy physical training months. And then October, tend to start getting back on slopes. October, November are like the toughest physically because you're still doing, say, like 80% or 70% of the volume of work you do in summer, maybe a bit less, maybe 60. Okay, I'm splitting hairs, but you do a lot of work in the gym, and then you're also doing a lot of volume and high intensity on the glaciers. So it's not just recovering at 2,000 meters, you're recovering at 3,500 meters. And as well, you have this hour commute to and from the glacier pretty much each time when you add up all the cable cars and carrying kit. It's like it adds up. It's hard going. Um, but of course it's fun and everybody's motivated and excited to be back on their skis. So that's typically what we do in October, November, and then December. Actually, we're back into skiing at mountain level, which is a bit less grueling. But the races start. So we have races in Italy in December, and then it's kind of like managing workload with recovery to make sure you can sort of like have enough in the tank in the bag to keep you going the whole season, but also to not overcook it. But pretty difficult to get that balance right, to be honest. Normally you suffer somewhere for something. So
What's the biggest challenge of like training for these events and um is there some a particular drill or anything that you find that was hard?
it's like there's loads of things that are challenging. So there's like tons of drills we do that are not very easy, but um there's more sort of global stuff than that, like injuries and being away from home. Sometimes yeah, I know it's like such a privileged thing to say, but like sometimes you do miss family and friends and that kind of thing. Um, just like I think probably even like funding has been a challenge over the years. But mate, like the crux of it is just trying to figure out how to win and then how to stay there and just keep your head on straight. It's so easy to mess it up for yourself. I know that sounds like so wishy-washy maybe, but like it's so difficult to pull out your best on the day in the moment you have to. I think yeah, figuring out how to win and then stay there is honestly like quite a big task. So that's pretty much just the job is tricky.
Do you have a particular style that you'd say over your competitors? So like last season, obviously you finished top. Is there a real reason for that, or is it just consistency or any sort of other attributes?
Um, no, I don't think there's like anything. I'm, I'm quite a good skater, so if maybe anything I know I can fall back on, it's my skating. But with Seb, with my coach, we talk a lot about approaching something. Um, so ultimately, you can't really control whether you're going to ski well or not, or whether you're going to make the line or land. I mean, you can obviously go up to it with the intention that you want to ski fast and you want to jump far and these things, but like the only thing I've figured out has any. It's really difficult to word it actually. I don't know how to word it. It's like having a good intention and doing something for its own sake, not what you're going to get out of it. That's a rubbish answer.
Like it's
Sorry, I
all
actually can't
marginal
think how to
gains, I
answer.
guess you're trying to
Yeah,
say for the bigger picture, right?
not sometimes. Sometimes you can make a horrible mistake, but it's like the dice, the roll of the dice is on your side, and it's really strange how often things fall on your side when you approach it um just with your best foot forward. I can't explain it, sorry, but like if you I don't know, it's just nuts when you I can't explain. I don't think I can explain that one. Sorry, that's a rubbish answer, but it's
That's
just
okay.
like
No worries.
something, it's like a feeling in me that I know I can sort of feel if I'm in it or not.
It's almost getting to yourself into that. You was describing it earlier. It's like almost like flow state. So that all the training is to build it up to that point. Is that what you're trying to say, maybe?
Yeah, it's like if you were making a cake, it would be like a little bit of self-trust, little bit of not caring what other people think, little bit of like, um, no matter what the outcome of this race, it doesn't change the world. You know, it's like, so I don't know, it's like a lot of
Building the
little
perfect
things.
Telemark cake.
Yeah,
Wonder what
yeah.
that'll
And
taste like.
then, yeah, like if you make a mistake halfway down the run, it's not, oh, I'm such an idiot. It's like, doesn't matter, next gate, next gate. It's like all about how you recover and how you go forward, not
It's almost a mindset, isn't it? Getting into
yeah, I
that
guess it's
racing
just
mindset.
mindset.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Um, what you talked about sort of the how tough training can be and things like that. Was there one single moment that you've really had to sort of recover from, or has been a real challenge, like injuries or anything like that?
There's been loads. There's been loads and loads. Try and think of one in particular. Um, can't- the one I hate, like the fitness test I hate the most, is the 5 minutes on the rower. I do a lot of rowing. I'm not, obviously like I'm 5'2", so I'm absolutely not a rower, but we do like an AMS test, which is like a 5 minute all out on the rower. And my dog barking, sorry about
That's
that.
right.
It's like a thing I absolutely dread, but can't, I can't like think of a pinpoint moment. I guess injury is always tricky because you never have You never have the certainty that you're really moving forwards, and that can be pretty frustrating.
And I guess
Um,
you have a team around you that help you with that element, like the rehabilitation and things like that. That must help in those moments.
yeah, yeah, you do. Yeah, like I work with strength and conditioning coach and a physio, nutrition, um, psychologists, then obviously technical ski coach. So you have different people that you go to for different things, and normally you can find the way through. But the trickiest things to overcome are when things are not going to plan. See, like if you're not skiing well and you just really don't know why, that is like, oh, what is wrong with me? And how am I going to fix this? And yeah, you can feel quite lost actually. And I know it sounds like, oh, you're not skiing well, boo-hoo. But when you put your whole life into it and sort of, I guess you identify as being a ski racer, it really feels rubbish when you're not doing that well. Um, so I think the highs are really high, but the lows can be quite low. And there's
Hmm.
not many people. See, the only people that can probably relate to you are your competitors. So you can't exactly say, oh, let's go have a coffee and because you're not
Talk it
you're
out.
not gonna have a yeah, you can't do that really. But
I guess as a skier myself, I can definitely feel the thing of not knowing how to improve your skiing. So it is a little bit relatable, but not on a totally
mm,
different scale. I can totally get that. Um, the sport of telemark itself, if you were sort of organizing telemark and looked at it on like a piece of paper and you had like a wish list of things that could improve the sport, what would be
mhm.
like your main things that you would like to see improve the sport?
There's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah, if you had a magic wand, but um, okay, so having it visible on TV or on live stream. We did have a live stream before COVID, but getting it back visible to people, I think would be great. Having like a head sponsor for the World Cup circuit, more people actually just buying equipment and trying the sport and trying racing, or yeah, just more people trying it, being involved, maybe more people racing if they wanted to race as well. Definitely, I'd like that. Um, yeah, just I think that's like these are all the kind of wish list stuff, which is all quite obvious, really. But what I will say about telemarketers is how amazing the organisers and the committee athletes, literally everybody involved on every level, how much they achieve with, I'll say, so little, that we don't have a massive budget yet. This whole World Cup tour and World Championship event is pulled off. All these athletes from all these different countries that have varying levels of funding, all turning up and giving their best race after race. Like it's quite amazing when you think about it. And yeah, I think see even I'm also part of Basie as well. So I'm a trainer for Basie with Alpine and Telemark. And I just think like the Telemark community, even just in Basie, is really um just really passionate. Like people care so much about it and it almost punches above its weight just because of the love these people have for the sport. And that just sort of rings true at every level. And that always impresses me. I don't know, that gives me energy. That like makes me want to keep going.
We see that in the club as well. If that a lot of the telemarkers are very passionate about trying to build the sport and things like that. Some of them on this call today, so it does show that the sport is very much loved. Probably more so than some of the other disciplines, which is really impressive. Um, do you have someone that's like, I think you talked about your coach, but is there someone that's inspired you along the way during your sort of journey in Telemark?
Oh, again, there's like so many people. Sometimes it can just be little comments or just like funny conversations. I know I've had a few with Ian, for example, and yeah, it's just yeah, it can just be little things. Seb for sure has had a massive impact, as I mentioned. Also, support from my family makes a big difference that they're behind me and backing me. Um, Sponsors have made a big difference as well. Just see, like it's kind of um, it's not very polite in a way to talk about money, but it's not just the money. It's also I don't know, it's like somebody is willing to back to actually physically back you or do something to help you get to the next step. Like Nick Anderson has sorted me out with Reach gloves. So it's like, you don't, it's not something that would stop or start the show, but it does make a difference. That adds up. That's a lot of money that it's saved. That kind of, are you smiling now? But Nick, I do mean it. Um, just people, I don't know, backing you and being invested and caring about it makes a big difference. I got one sponsor who, when we had the live stream up and running, he said to me, it's actually years ago. This was in 2015, so it's the first World Champs medal, and he said that he watched me get this bronze medal, and he was just happy the rest of the day. I was like, why, like, what? Like, why would you be happy because I got a medal? Like, why would somebody else care about that? Like, it would really, really confuse me at the time. But actually, it's quite moving. Like, it's quite, oh, like, that can make somebody happy. And I find that quite, yeah, like that's kind of inspiring. I can't really put my finger on why, but just you're like, oh, maybe it's a little bit more than just skiing sometimes.
Right, it sounds like the strong community is really coming forward for you, and it's almost like a team effort, isn't it? Some people just see the
Yeah.
athlete, but actually the people around you. Um, that's really great. Before I move on to questions from everyone here, I just wanted to ask you, what advice would you? There's lots of telemarketers on the call. What's your like top tip for being on telemarking on the slopes? What's something that people should focus on?
Like a technique tip.
Yeah. If you were teaching me how to do telemark, I've only done telemark once, so what would be the main thing that I should focus
If
on?
I'm te Yeah, if I'm teaching you, I'll probably tell you to get more weight on your back foot because that's what every alpine skier ever does. But um, I'd say for like general motivation, get some mates that do it and that push you to do it and that you have fun skiing with, and that sort of keeps you engaged and keeps you improving, I think. Um, and get comfy boots. There's nothing worse than rubbish boots, is there? So there you go. It's like ground earth shattering advice, I know, but yeah.
I think it's important that you ski with other people and learn from others. And also, I've worn awful boots, so and some people invest in the skis rather than the boots. So I think,
Oh,
yeah, it's
thanks
useful
every time.
advice.
Yeah.
Cool. I've got some questions that have been already submitted in, but if you have any more, please put them into the chat. I think most of these are from you, Kenny, that have come through. Um, in fact, if you wanted to, Kenny, if you remember your questions, I might throw it to you because I think you had a good five in there that got submitted. If Charlotte can unmute you.
Oh, I I'm not sure if Kenny's actually frozen. Oh no, there
No,
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 I'm
he's
here.
here.
No, I'm
he
just
is.
not moving. No,
There
no,
we
I'm just here.
go.
Yeah, well, do you want me to just fire go away a few questions? I don't want to dominate the questions.
I think,
I've got quite a
yeah,
few.
I think there was one about the Winter Olympics, and yeah,
There are. So, yeah. So, first of all, Jazz, congratulations on receiving the Perry Medal from the ski club last season. And also, congratulations on your two overall world titles. I think that was really quite phenomenal. And hats off to you because it was just a great performance. And good luck going forward because I'd like to see you on the podium again this year. I think it's quite inspirational. So yeah, on to some questions following that. Um, yeah, I mean we've never skied together, but I think we're kind of familiar with each other. I think you knew Callum at BSA
Mm.
or something, who also can telemark, but nowhere near to the level, and he doesn't really telemark. So I do have a lot of questions actually. There's some that I submitted earlier, but just off the top of my head. So Callum, I don't know if you, I know you guys, your generation all sort of know what's going on through Instagram and so on. So I don't know whether you follow him or anything. But so Callum, he's been competing in the Freeride World Tour, obviously in Alpine, and one of his associates was competing on telemarks. Have you got any plans to compete in the World Freeride Tour on telemarks?
Only in my imagination. I would love to think I could do free ride like that, but I'm not good enough I'm not
Is
also,
it?
do you know what? I'm rubbish. I'm actually rubbish at like reading. I'm not like good at mountain safety, basically. So I wouldn't do
Well,
it just for that.
I don't
That's
believe
awesome
that.
he's doing that.
Yeah, I don't believe that for a moment. So
No, you should,
maybe when
honestly. I'm
you,
not to be trusted.
but if you get to if you get to a stage where your what do you call it? Your conventional
Racing.
racing gets to
Yeah.
a conclusion, would you consider moving over into freeride?
I've got a lot to learn.
Okay, have a
Like
think.
the
Have
skiing
a
side of it, maybe. But do you know what? I've actually never been asked that. Where
Well,
does he
have a think
train?
about it. Have a think about it. You can come back to me, or contact Callum because he's pretty much he's been coaching in Revelstoke this year on Alpine, and would be more than
Okay.
happy to. I'd be speaking for him. Anyway, moving on from something you haven't thought about before, the Olympics. So I'm really disappointed that given that we now have in the summer, we've had break dancing, we've got skateboarding, we've got all sorts of sports that, in my opinion, are not anywhere near as exciting as telemark racing. Why don't we have telemark skiing in the Winter Olympics?
The honest answer is I don't know.
Have we
Don't.
attempted to? I mean, I don't know the process or in terms of British Telemark Association or whoever it is who it wouldn't be just British the World Telemark Association if there's such a thing that
There
promotes
is,
telemark.
yes. So my understanding is you have the International Olympic Committee, and then after under that, then you have summer and winter. So we get rid of summer, and then under winter you have Fizz, and then you have ice hockey and all the other sports. But telemark sits under Fizz, and each federation can propose sports to the International Olympic Committee. And this is what they did in 2018. So Fizz Telemark put the proposal through to Fizz, Big Fizz. They said yes. So that was kind of the furthest it had been in the sport. And then you have basically then the International Olympic Committee rejected it at that level. Um, there's several things in that. For instance, the the FIS accounts for I think half the medals, so it wants to weight the other federations, not have so much weight in it under the FIS. I think that's maybe part of it. And then there's also a quota for sports in general. And I think they're already over the quota. So there's that too. You've got other factors like if they add a sport, they want to add a sport which already has the pre-existing infrastructure. So, for example, Alpine is already in the Olympics, all the athletes, all the personnel, all the staff, the actual piece, the preparation of the piece is already set. So to add a team event for Alpine is kind of like more bang for your buck in the Olympic Association's eyes. But then you also have, I think, commercial value comes into it. So like ski touring with COVID, we saw a massive boom in like the popularity of ski touring. So that's now being suggested. But that's just one way to get a sport Olympic. I think then the other side of it is if the host of the Olympic Games wants the sport to be Olympic. So in 2030, it's France, and the French in Telemark are the strongest team. So that actually does bode well for Telemark right now.
So is that going to be one of your objectives? 2030 is 5 years away. Are you still going to be
I'm gonna
racing?
be so old. Yeah, I'm gonna be with the Zimmer frame. No, I
Yeah, but
won't.
look at
But
Dave Riding's
I will feel old, I think.
yeah,
Hey?
Dave Riding's a good example in terms of he's 39 now, I think. Is he 39? And he's still he presumably he's going to be presumably he's going to be calling it a day after the next Olympics next year in Cortina. But so as an
Yeah.
example, maybe that's something to keep on your keep
Yeah,
going with.
he definitely shows it's possible, doesn't he? So
Oh,
I
he
think
absolutely does. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, and I'm being maybe a bit stupid about the age thing because it is just in your mind, really. But when I think of 2030, I'm like, that's a long way away.
Five
I'm
years away.
thinking, yeah, it feels
Good.
like a long way, but
Yeah, I suppose take it year by year and see how things work out, and I'm sure you'll know where when it's time to call it a day. But it's a long way off, I think.
hmm,
Yeah, while you're at the top of the tree in Telemark, just stay up there. Get four globes this year.
just do that.
World
Can
champ
it,
27, and then that gets
Sorry.
world champs in 27, and then
Yeah,
it's in
done.
2030. What could go
Sorry,
wrong?
tick, tick, tick. Yeah, exactly.
The decision's imminent, isn't it? About the new. In fact, I thought it was supposed to be June.
I think it's the next year or two. I don't know. I don't have anything concrete though. I don't know.
Can I ask you, sorry, I don't want to dominate the question, so please anyone else chip in, but I would ask, I've got a few more, but I'd like to ask one other one. Maybe get some advice, some of your thoughts, and also from Peter, Charlotte, who's on the call, and anyone else who'd like to chip in. Last season, I was lucky enough to get approval to run a fresh. You're familiar with Fresh Tracks? So
Hmm.
ski club has got like ski club reps and it's got holidays. The ski club,
Hmm.
maybe you don't know that, Jasmine, but we do. Like we run holidays in various places all around Europe and North America and Japan. And last year I got the approval to organise a Telemark Fresh Tracks holiday for it was going to be 4 days with instruction. So the idea was really for people who are good alpine, not for beginner skiers, but for people who are, reasonably good alpine skiers to have 4 days of instruction to try out telemark skiing. And something I've always said is that even if you don't necessarily want to kind of go full into telemark skiing, if you find it's not for you, at least skiing using telemark equipment will, I'd like to hear your opinion. In my opinion, it helps your alpine skiing in terms of your forward pressure, your balance, and so on. If you can ski well alpine style, parallel skiing, snowplow, whatever, on telemark equipment, then you've probably sorted out any bad habits you might have when you're using your alpine equipment when everything's locked down. Anyway, I got this through. We advertised it in the Fresh Tracks brochure, which you've probably seen all the holidays, and we had to can it because not one person booked on it. Why was that? Why didn't you book on it, Jazz?
Too busy
What time
winning.
of year was it?
It was in April. No, that was a joke.
That'd be why.
I didn't expect you to book on it. But it'd be quite interesting to know. Because the other thing, I rep for the ski club and I'm on Telemarks, as you probably know, like, and I've been telemarking, I think, longer than you have, actually. I've been telemarking now for, what's that, 35 years. But I think you passed me a long, long time ago in terms of performance. But I rep on Telemark. So I'm skiing with alpine skier, exclusively alpine skiers all winter with the ski club. And
Mhm.
lots of people say, "Oh, that's great. That looks really good. I would love to telemark. You know, it looks really." People probably say to you, and I know Andy Jerem hates it. People say you're graceful, Andy hates that. And but anyway, you got all these comments. People think it's really good and how they'd love to do it. And I said, "Great. We've organised a telemark holiday. All you need to do is sign up, come along. We've organised lessons, and you can give it a go. If you don't like it, at least." You're giving it 4 days, giving it a good shot, and you're good alpine skiers already. So you're going to, with the new equipment, with particularly NTN, which I guess you're on, um, it's not that difficult if you're a good, competent alpine skier. But no one signed up. Why do you think that is?
I think there are several barriers. So it's just my take on it. But you've got the upfront cost of equipment. You've got the
Well,
learning.
let me just chip in on that because
Oh,
we're
go
doing it at
on.
Zermatt and there is a shop there that rents all the gear, NTN gear, boots, bindings,
Oh.
everything is all available.
Then I think it's a good question actually, because I noticed that at telemark festivals, you get huge numbers. See, like the black shoes, they can have, I think, 800 people some years, maybe more. Um, and I think it's about like feeling included and feeling like people don't want to do things on their own. And maybe if on a holiday they might think that they're the only beginner or that they're going to hold people back. People don't think people feel comfortable with that. Um, so I think if it was known that nobody, like everyone's a beginner, and this is going to be like a funny, non-serious way to learn telemark, a social, come and try something new. You're going to be on green slopes. Like if you took the threat out of it, that might help. Because I don't know if it's like quite a lot to like some people don't mind looking silly, but some people I think maybe do mind. And I think also when people are really good alpine skiers, it sometimes can be even more difficult. Um, so I think there's maybe a few things in there, but you do make a good point, and
How
I
would you
don't
propose
necessarily have the answer.
how would you propose we could approach this in the ski club to try and there are a small number of skiers. I think there's four to my knowledge. There's myself and Andy Park. And there's an Irish village, forgotten his name, and there's another guy who just joined last year. So I think there's four telemarketers. Anyone else in the call who wants to say they're also, there we go. So there are a few more, but not many, but there are a few. But how would I was trying to encourage not people who can telemark to come telemarking, but people who are good skiers to give it a go. How would you go about it if we got the opportunity again in a ski club to try and encourage offer for the ski club to offer that as a, a type of skiing that we can support and facilitate?
Um, well, I think the trick is that people have decided they want to do it. People that do it have really decided, I'm going to do that. Um, and I think as well, I read it somewhere that sort of like nothing, I can't remember the quote actually, but basically like nothing comes without desire. So we need actually more telemark skiing looking desirable, looking like something that people, when you see somebody powder skiing, you feel yourself in that scene and you're like, wow, I want to feel that. Whereas I think we need to get better at portraying that with telemark and have people sort of dreaming that they could ski like that on a pair of skis. I don't know if there's enough of that. Um,
Better
yeah,
marketing, I think.
yeah, maybe some
That's how you,
Yeah,
marketing.
Peter.
my job, my job.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Kenny, for all
You're
those
welcome there.
questions. Thank you for all those questions. Is there anyone else that would like to have a question on board? Maybe put your hand up if you would like to talk.
There's a few bits and bobs just going on in the chat. So I've got a lovely comment from Andy, actually, who's come in on the Q&A, just saying, Jazz, you've not mentioned your determination and a great deal. A great deal, and clearly you're very determined. How do you maintain that through both the lows and highs of your journeys? I think I read that right. I hope I read that right.
I don't know. I don't know, it's like something in me that I can't quite argue with. I don't know. Just like can't like I don't sleep. I actually don't sleep at night if I don't do my best. So I've got something there that I just gotta do my best. Um I don't know. Sorry, Andy.
We're at the Black Shoes Festival in Teen and then stayed on for the Ski Club Teen Takeover. Why not arrange a ski club trip to one of the festivals?
Also, just listening to the discussion, it's maybe fusing just having one day within a Alpine trip to give people the option, not forcing it on people too much and slowly dripping it into the club, rather than like a full-on commitment to a full holiday. Because I don't know about you guys, but it's ski cost is exponential, and I guess you're ring fencing what your holidays to do what you really love. So if you're not 100% committed into telemarketing, you're gonna, use that cost to go towards, stuff that you're used to that you've already, especially if you've already learned how to ski and gone through that journey, to do that again through telemark might be quite a
Also
tough.
very humbling going back to being a beginner, which might not be
Mm.
what people consider. But I think, yeah, I think I can understand that committing to a week, your 1 week of skiing is going to get messed up by telemarketing. Whereas doing a day within that week, I think might start to snowball, to generate more people showing the interest. I mean, I've never met anyone that's started telemarketing that doesn't like it. You know, it's most people are converts and never go back, but who knows?
Half the call are gonna hang up right now, but do you know what? Alpine's quite fun.
We've had a festival, well, not a festival, a weekend here, where there is an association that goes around a lot of the resorts in the Haute-Savoie in the Northern Alps called Génération Telemark that try to get people on it, and come along for the day with equipment and with a few people to take you out to show you around. And those are always very well attended. But it's a half day for people to take their alpines off, try something else, and then go back to it. So, but it gets a lot of people into it, I think. So, but again, you need a few like-minded people that are going to put that together. And I can understand from a distance that can be quite daunting, committing to a week in Zermatt or wherever it might be. So, as you say, your budget's gone for the skiing. You want to concentrate on that, but a taster of something might be a way to get more people interested. I mean, do a lot of telemarketers not get into it through mountaineering as well? Ski mountaineering. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Can I ask?
If we could,
Can I ask for a tip? A tip, Jazz. Can you give
Mhm.
me a tip? So, do you ski much? Do you ever ski like off-piste in powder with your tellies?
Yeah.
You do. So you must have come across if you're in really good powder, the stiletto effect of the snow
Yeah.
gathering underneath your boot, and then you feel you're wearing a pair of stilettos, and you've got to stop and clear it all out. Have you got any tip of avoiding doing that?
Um, like an oil spray can help sometimes.
Do you do that? Well, I've actually I've put, the rub-on wax you get, the Toco Universal Wax.
Oh yeah.
I haven't actually tested it out, but I thought I've been rubbing that on because I put them on my skins when I go touring, and I thought I should use it to keep the snow from. But even I did it once last year, but I couldn't still. The snow still, if you're in really like lot really kind of thick snow, does gather, and then of course you pack it down with your heel, and before you know it, you've got this big lump of ice under your foot. But you think oil, and it's also keeping the wax or the lubricant on your heel piece or on the heel of your boot. But I just wondered if you had a tip because you obviously do a lot more skiing than everyone else.
Well, normally I have to powder ski on GS skis just because normally it's sort of like a fail day of training. It's like, oh, there's too much snow. Okay, let's just go powder skiing. So normally I do get the build up I do get that build up. It's really annoying. But I think it's good for your thighs. That makes telemarking easy. So, it's
Good
like
for you.
telemarking makes alpine. It's like the level up of being on the front, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
I think of it anyway.
yeah. It's not good for my toes. 'Cause my
No,
slide down at the front of my toes.
no,
Um,
honestly, it's a bit annoying.
but
If I
you
come up with anything, I'll send you a message.
Yeah, do. If you find any foolproof way of getting around that, that'd be really good because it is quite annoying, especially if it is good conditions and you're out with alpine guys and you're ripping up stuff and you've got to stop because you're on this kind of 12-inch high stiletto heels. It feels like
Yeah, your thighs are on fire. Yeah.
eyes on fire. Yeah.
Just looking
What I
at the
find
time,
is
we've got 5 minutes left. Does anybody have any final questions before we head off the call?
Yeah, I've got more questions, but I don't want to do. Let everybody else can ask questions first.
Right. I was just making a comment that people can try telemarking in the UK. We've got NTN equipment at the Chill Factory in Manchester. So they can come and try it out on an indoor slope rather than missing a day skiing when they've only got 1 week skiing and they're away. So it's a much more economical way of trying it. And the facilities, we've got fantastic facilities there. I don't represent Chill, I just ski there quite regularly. But, we're one of the very few slopes, I should think, nowadays who've actually got the equipment, the wide range of NTN skis and boots. And also we hold a Telemark Festival every summer. So that's an annual event where, as well as being catering for people who can ski already, we have total beginners groups as well. So, and Jazz comes along as well as one of our coaches. So that's worth coming to. So yeah, it is possible to try it in the UK. It's well supported at the Chill Factor as well. There's a lot of people who do telly there regularly. And I think a lot of the thing is its visibility. And people can see it and think, oh, that's great, but how do I try it? And quite often it's just hard getting hold of the equipment. And as has been said, it's really expensive just to think that I'm going to kit up on to try something that I don't even know whether I'll continue doing. So you've got to start by hiring in the first instance. And the fact that we've got it there, so ski club could organise sessions up at Chill, couldn't they?
That's a great idea. Start in the UK, do some taster
Yeah.
sessions. Jazz will be our coach.
Not winter.
but also you
Great.
could do the snow centre as well.
Mm.
Good lot of people there too.
At Hemel.
Yeah,
Yeah. Next week.
yeah.
Do you still train Jazz in the Do you do any skiing in the indoor slope still, or is that sort of a no-no whilst you're sort of in prep?
No, I'm going next weekend. I'm going to go and
Oh,
ski the bumps with
brilliant.
Alison. So yeah, it's quite sort of like the A12 gets on my nerves. So that's like the biggest barrier to that one is actually just driving there and back. Take basically a whole day gone, but I do love it when I'm there. It's really fun.
And can you still do a lot of the skills that you do on the mountain in a short slope like that? Is that still beneficial?
It's
I
fun.
think it is beneficial because it keeps the feeling a little bit. But slalom skis, you've got to move much quicker. But um, I do see the benefit actually. I do think there's value in it.
Excellent. I think we've got 2 minutes left. Is there any final questions? If not, we'll
Peter,
yes.
can I just cut in? I do apologise to everyone and especially Jazz. I couldn't get my mic to work.
No worries.
So just to explain my question, hi Jazz.
Uh,
You are the most determined person I think I've ever met, and I still am astounded every year I see you, and you are so determined. I know you've answered my question, but that was the point. I just do not know how you do it through the highs and the lows. You remained so determined, which is absolutely inspirational. And even if you can't answer the question any further, then well done you.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's your season going to look like, Jazz? What's your World Cup program looking like for the winter?
They're actually should be published, but they're still finalising it. So I think there might be a race in Hintertux end of November, and then before Christmas we got Italy, and then so it goes on. It's basically Italy, Switzerland, and then we have a stint now in Sweden, Norway in
So it's all
February.
published on FIS then. So if we, I'd be
It
quite
will
keen
be
to,
very soon if it's not already. Yeah.
yeah, because if I'm out somewhere there's a race on, that I'd be quite keen to come and support it. Because I'm quite often spend quite a bit of time in Wengen, and there's a girl lady there who I can't remember her name. She was world champion, I think.
Yeah, she's very good. Actually, she just had a
She's not as good as you though, because you're now the world
no,
champion.
she's very good. She is
Yeah,
very good.
but she's not as good as you.
Martina Weiss.
That's it. Yeah, I told her that
Yeah,
you
no,
were
she's
better.
very good. No,
Yeah,
she is good. I mean,
yeah, but you're better.
well, she wasn't competing this year, so that wouldn't be
Right.
fair to say, but she she's also doing ski cross now. So but she's just had a very a big injury. She's hurt her knee, so she's I think
Oh God, from a fall or something. But
I think yeah, in ski cross, yeah.
is she ski crossing on tellies?
No, that would be telecross. No, she's on ski cross. She's actually like trying to go to the Olympics. If you've ever done telecross, it's like
I
the
haven't.
most wild thing
Yeah,
ever.
that
I
sounds
didn't even know
wild.
it existed, to be honest.
Absolutely wild. Hey?
I didn't know it existed. Have you done it?
Yeah,
That sounds like something you do on a
terrifying.
day off.
Yeah. You're probably a
We
bit
had one in
small.
Lazouche, Andrew.
Do you?
You're
It's so
probably,
crazy.
yeah. Is it kind
Hey?
of elbows out ski across?
Uh, it's like in 2014 or 13 I did it, but it was crazy. It's like four of you at a time.
Yeah.
It was down Coldavosa. I don't know if you know Coldavosa in Lazouche, but
I don't know the name, but
You know
I'm
what I'm
sure.
going to say at this point? You know where the
hey?
Coldavosa is?
Yeah, oh, not you
How do
in
you
San Gervais,
you get
honestly.
the tram from Saint-Germain?
It's in Lazouche. If I like it, it's in Lazouche.
We won't get
Don't start
political
that.
about it. Political shared resort.
And just context, Andrew is an estate agent in San Gervais, and he claims all of Lazouche as being in San Gervais,
No,
but
no, only 80%. No, but I tell you what, what's really strange is our company partners with Team GB, and that had nothing to do with me. It was to do with Sissy, wasn't it? Sissy Compton when she was.
yes, yeah.
And then all the events, we've had 2 World Cups in Saint-Germain and 2 World Cups in Contamine, or
Yeah.
rather 3 World Cups and a World Championships in the last 4 years. So yes, it's been
Mhm.
quite an active time in this area, let's put it that way.
Yeah, it has.
I think people like coming here, so we're okay.
Anyway, good luck, Jazz, for the season.
Thank
Look forward
you.
to
Thank you.
watching out for you during the winter.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
thank you everyone for signing up and attending tonight. If you look on the Ski Club of Great Britain website in the events section, there's a whole load of other talks this summer. A lot with Warren Smith and a few others in there as well. But we would love to have Jazz back maybe next year as well. Have a few more telemarkers in here. I'm sure if you let us have you again. But no, thank you very much, Jazz. To have a World Cup overall champion talk to us tonight is pretty special. And, as Kenny said, maybe when at that 2030 mark, we might be Olympic champion. You never know. Um, but thank you, everybody. And we will be posting this onto our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to watch back or share it with anyone, please do. We will send that around. Thank you very much.